Helado Negro with PHASOR, and this was a choice from Kiley. So Kiley, you're kicking us off here.
Yeah, Helado Negro, one of those guys that's been around forever, and I guess in the grand scheme, I was late to the party. This is how you smile. I think was the entry for a lot of people. For him, I think the you know the website formerly known as Pitchfork gave it best new music. I remember, and between that and I love the old photo on the front cover. That was just like, okay, let's give this a shot, and really enjoyed that album. But then it was 2021 Far In, the follow up. Uh, I should have looked before this, but I believe it, it was definitely top five on my year end list. I think two or three, maybe somewhere in there, and was quite a bit longer, which I know sometimes we talk about on here can be overstaying a welcome, but I really, for as long as that record was, really just got into it and, uh, you know, just chilled out. I don't even know what you describe him as. It's avant-garde indie stuff. He's all over the place, bilingual. Some songs in Spanish, some songs in English. So I guess if something finishes that high, the next record you're really anticipating. And overall, I like PHASOR. I'd say, I'm still so far finding it a step down from the previous record. Not necessarily in, uh, you know, songsmith or anything like that. It's still excellent. Just, I guess, sonic preferences excuse me, with this new one. But yeah, I think that the singles, LFO Lupe Finds Oliveros, was just a great first single last year. That had me excited, and I Just Want to Wake Up With You that followed after that. Um, just the he's a he's always just a gentle breeze, and that I think that song on this new album is probably the best uh instance example, I would say, for that. um it just, yeah, overall it is more of a collage, um back to the This Is How You Smile style. And so there's parts that don't uh quite keep me pulled in, especially in the back half. Just trying to, let's see here. Where did you go? Um, yeah, I think it's like that. Flores, the third single, "Wish You Could Be Here," as soon as Fantasia, excuse me, where I just kind of find myself drifting on this one. Great start, kind of, falls apart in the back half, but uh, doesn't make me enjoy him any less. And I think it's also one of those that it's came out in February, great time of year, and I think this is one that pull out in the spring, and I might have a little bit higher of an opinion on.
Okay, so you like it, but it doesn't reach
Yeah,
the height of the previous record, and
yeah, I
yeah,
enjoy it.
perhaps more joy to be had from it returning to it in sunnier weather. Um, Carl, where did you land with Phasor or Phaser? Phasor.
Yeah,
Bazor.
yeah. I mean, I think maybe not having that previous, acquaintance to him, I actually maybe came out actually liking it maybe slightly bit more than you, Kylie, I imagine. Because actually, yeah, I mean, this was the one on the slate for the month where I didn't really know what to expect. Um, a new name to me, and I was shocked to see how long Helado would be going without fallen onto my radar at this point. But that's always the best bit about the pod for me, is obviously the great artists that you guys put me onto. And yeah, I mean, for me, this is another one that you can add to your collection, Kylie, because this was a record I thoroughly enjoyed getting lost in. Even at the times when, due to my own ignorance, I didn't know what Helado was singing about. He does a great job of, on those Spanish tracks, conveying the feeling and the emotion through the music with these, quite subtle, quite gorgeous. You mentioned a breeze, definitely felt that coming through on the arrangements, and real dreamy quality to them as well, I would say. It's just a pleasure to listen to. There's some real standouts on there as well. I mean, you obviously mentioned the first two, which I really liked, but the one that really stood out to me was Best for You and Me, which has gone straight up there as one of my favorite songs of the year so far. I think it's just adore that kind of like pulse of synths that runs through the track, and then there's those like ghostly harmonies, like especially when you're listening on the headphones, you got those ghostly vocal harmonies coming through, just floating in the background. Just a beautifully tender track. And yeah, as I say, that's one that I keep going back to. That song in particular, listening to that one again. And then you obviously mentioned Flores. That was actually the other one that I really loved. Just really atmospheric. Makes for, again, when you're listening on the headphones, it kind of makes for quite a transcendent moment listening to it. I think it's like just the way he's arranged the sonics on that one. Again, it was one that I just loved, as I say, getting lost in as a headphones listen. I thought it was fantastic. But yeah, those were the two standouts, and I think I also enjoyed. I'm going to butcher this. I'm apologising. Is it Colores del Mar? Is that
Colors of the Sea?
Oh, is that what it means? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I was so worried. I'm awful with foreign languages, as you could probably tell. But Colors of the Sea. So yeah, it came across almost like a Latin-inspired Radiohead track to me. I think particularly the drums, some great shuffling drums on there, some hypnotic like vocal lines as well. The other one that you mentioned as well, Wish You Could Be Here. I quite enjoyed that. That was like a bit more ravey compared to the previous tracks. That song, but moments on the whole. I'm not sure if you got this kind of, but it actually reminded me a lot of Fortet in places, in terms of the instrumentation. But obviously with Helado's like hushed vocals, and obviously he's got the Spanish guitars that kind of come in, which kind of put his own stamp onto the whole project. So yeah, it's one of them, like you say, 35 minutes doesn't overstay its welcome. I just found it a really enjoyable half-hour listen that, as I say, I've enjoyed returning to it when I want something, particularly when I'm like, at work or something, I want something ambient and undistracting. This is one in the last month I've definitely found myself reaching for. So yeah, great discovery again. Thanks to Kylie. And if you're into like your ambient electronic driven records, definitely one to check out, I would say.
Yeah, I think I'm probably more with Kylie on this one, where there's some great moments, and interestingly, in your review there, Karl, the first four tracks you mentioned are the four which I've lifted as my favourite. So I mean, and Kylie with the first two tracks on the album, LFO, Lupe Finds Oliveros, so catchy. It's just cheery sounding, really hooky. And all I need to do is think of it, and it's in my head. It's just got it's just in a nice way. I hear enough children's music to with my son that there's things you don't want to be stuck in your head. That is one I'm very happy to be stuck in my head for as long as possible. I just want to wake up with you. Yeah, another one which was mentioned as the single, and then Best for You and Me. Yeah, really lovely synth in that one, and with Flores as well. They were the four which I sort of picked out as my favourite from here. With Flores, I just found really calming, in a kind of Boards of Canada type way. And the electronic drums, the build at the end there is great, with some lovely mellow acoustic guitar as well. And then I'd say the majority of it is good, but without reaching those levels. And then there were just a couple which I just didn't do much for me. And there was right in sort of the center of the album with Echo Tricks Me and out there. I found Echo Tricks Me a little bit repetitious and out there. Reminded me of a Jamie Woon song, very bare, and the kind of fax like sound I found a little bit grating there. But overall, really lovely discovery, as you mentioned, Karl, and Kylie. I think you're probably on the leading front for bringing artists we're not aware of. I'm obviously bottom of that list. So another great discovery, because I hadn't heard of Helado Negro before, and nice to add another one in that ambient sort of space, which can just be so absorbing, as you kind of referred to, Karl, in terms of where you've kind of enjoyed that 35 minutes throughout, and like I say, I think there were moments where I was really hooked in, and then others where it just felt it drifted. But good album, in a strong month.